Welcome back to another episode of the Nourish You podcast. I'm your host, Lauren Bernard. This show was created to help you find lasting peace, contentment, and the ability to truly enjoy your human experience. So, to do that today, I want to say happy first birthday, Nourish You. The Nourish You podcast, first episode was launched 1 year ago today, um, March 23rd. 2025, here we are. It's been a whole year, and I'm just super excited. So, today we're going to be talking about trust as we celebrate this episode. We will go through kind of a personal journey together, reflecting on the past year, setting a new intention for the year ahead. Stay tuned to the end for a little Vortex meditation straight from Sedona, Arizona, for manifesting the transformations that you want. So, Aries season is why I chose the date last year. Let's talk about that. So, right now, we are in between eclipses. The new moon and eclipse coming on the 29th will be the second of three eclipses this year. So, just about, let's see. So, the recent full moon was the first eclipse. And Sedona is like an actual portal. The energy here is wild and amazing, spectacular, magnificent. It has been such an amazing weekend here with two of my great friends who have been on the show. Shout out to Miranda Von Fricken and Jessica Perillo. Go back to the earlier episodes on this podcast to listen to their episode. Justin's an amazing intuitive coach, and I would not. And Miranda is an author, a speaker, and a branding and really, she's just a powerhouse to empower you to be your awesome. So, Nourishing Your Awesome is an episode with Miranda, and the two of them together have really been inspired to lean into more of who I am and what I have to provide in service. So I'm really excited to be here. And it's also a time of Venus and planet Mercury retrograde. So, and the equinox. We just had the spring equinox and might still like be feeling that brand new year feeling because it's about new beginnings. It's about all things ending and beginning again, the transition between seasons. I mean, truly it is the new year. um there may have been little seeds planted that are now starting to spring to life, but with the retrogrades happening with these planets, it's a time of rethinking. It's a time of reevaluating. So, I want to read a little bit of the email that I just sent out last week to my community, my newsletter community. If you're not on there and you want to be, I do sometimes receive some creative inspiration and email it a few times a month. Um, and also kind of like give you a heads up on some things that might be happening that you might want to know about, discounts, events, things like that. Um, so, I want to read you a little bit about this energy from my email. Um, okay. So, the spring equinox, the new beginning upon us. The sun moves into Aries, and Venus and Mercury retrograde are in the mix with influences of several other factors. It's a theme of endings and beginnings. Here are the biggest things I think we need to know among the minutiae of energetic jargon. We are entering the energy of action, and to be honest, it's the warrior archetype. I'm guessing most of us are feeling a lot of intensity and discomfort under the surface of our lives, or a full on standoff of the masculine and feminine. We are being given many gifts in the midst of fire. Now is time to reevaluate and rethink. But here it is, friends. Observe it. Love yourself. Welcome all the ugly. Beware of reactive nature. Allow yourself to ride the waves. Journal. Seek solace or counsel. Take your time the next few weeks. Try to pause on major decisions until a couple of weeks into April, and then even still, baby steps this year. For now, I want you to consider, is there anything I am at war with within myself? If I could change one thing about myself, what would that be and why? And what if I didn't reject this part of me so much? What if I welcomed it into my heart and brought it a cup of tea to hear its pain? What if nothing is wrong with this part of me? We are all perfect, perfectly imperfect human beings. And that's all. You are here, you are enough, and that is all. Until we end these micro and internal wars, our world will never experience peace. Peace begins with me, you and me, my friend. I welcome fear. I can handle this discomfort. I love you as you are. I love me as I am. May I forgive my shortcomings and those of others. May together we find our collective value and safety on earth. So, okay, that's a little bit of the vibe we have going on right now. And I want to talk about the astrology chart briefly for the Nourish You podcast because it's really fun on your birthday to have a solar return. So, the sun moving back to the placement of your birth can tell you a lot of things about the year ahead. And it's kind of cool. So, I thought we could talk about it briefly. Okay. So, this is wild, you guys. There are so many planets parading through the sign of Aries. Like, this podcast is in its personality, in its vitality, its self expression, its life force. It is literally the warrior archetype. It is pushing you to fight for love in all extent, in its energy that I and my own energy are like vibing with. We have like a synergy together, this entity of this podcast. And so I invite you, if you have a business of your own, it would be really interesting to look at the birth chart, any of the star charts, the human design chart, the astrology chart of your particular business. And so, what's really cool is the sun is in Aries. It is conjunct Mercury, it is conjunct Venus, Neptune, the North Node, and Saturn, all in this little parade. I mean, we still have the North Node and Saturn and Neptune in Pisces. So, that transition is coming quickly where everything is going to slowly start to move into Aries, which is wild. And the way that it falls for this house, this particular chart is all in the first house, which is all about your your physical body, your soul, how you initiate your um you initiate your how you take action, how you um assert your will. Okay? So it's very soulful, very action oriented. For this year, the theme of the moon in Capricorn and Mars in opposition there in Cancer is really kind of interesting. So this year, the moon, my emotional temperament is a little bit more focused, a little bit more diligent, a little bit more career oriented. So I am going to work with this partnership of this chart and be reassured that the nurturing, the the mothering that I do through this podcast and with this podcast and like my own self-expression and being seen is going to have a little more discipline and integrity and is going to have some goals this year, is going to get out there a little bit more. So that's really, really cool. I'm excited to work with that. We've also got a lot of beautiful, harmonious a lot of beautiful harmonious angles, but it is intense. It is intense. Um, the transiting planets of Neptune, the North Node, and Saturn are all influencing. I mean, I expect this podcast to be an actual portal for me to continue to bring messages through for you all. Being in Pisces and Saturn giving me kind of like a diligence to do that. A Even though I might feel a little shy with the way Saturn is positioned there, really close to the ascendant line, if we're going with like a 6 a.m. birth time, which is when I believe the podcast launched, and it's early morning for this recording. So um, even if I were to tweak that, if like it's actually, I probably could change this time and see if it's closer to 7. I mean, it would be in the 12th house and more spiritual. I mean, it's so fun to work with this energy, you guys. So that gives you a little bit of a taste of using your charts. But I just want to say I'm so, so grateful to all of these listeners. I would not be here without knowing somebody else is on the other end. Um, just thank you so, so much. There's been people, when I look at the analytics, I'm kind of blown away at like people listen and they listen all around the world. I just want to say thank you so much. I do record this podcast freely. It does take time and my own resources financially. And so your support really does make it possible and makes a difference. Please share episodes with specific people and tell them why they should listen to it when you listen to something you enjoy. Please take a screenshot and share it on your social media and tag people, or just give me a shout out. Write a review, leave a review either in Apple or Spotify, on Google. I'll drop some links in the show notes below if you want to leave a review. Um, that would be amazing. Tell people why they should listen. Maybe talk about what your favorite things are about this. Like, if you could give me some specifics, that would be incredible. And I'll also put my email below because I would love for you to share suggestions based on what you love most and what you want more of in the year to come. I've definitely been told that people enjoy listening just because it kind of soothes them, and that's really beautiful. So I definitely am taking that in. But anything else you have to share would be greatly appreciated. So, I want to tell you that in my time here in Sedona and in thinking about my intentions for this like new year energy and what is to come in this collaboration with this podcast, just for me in general, there is a releasing of fear like energies that I'm leaving behind. I've left it behind. It feels true, and I feel very supported in releasing that. I'm sure there's going to be some moments where I am challenged to affirm that I am receiving trust. And so I just thought I would talk about trust because trust is a very Scorpio, eighth house, or Pluto energy. And I have a lot of this influence in my chart. I'm actually governed by it. It kind of rules my whole chart. And it's all, it's beautiful. Scorpio energy is very intense. It's very transformational. And I have definitely witnessed and experienced a great deal of transformation in my life. Um, and, there's trust itself is like a firm belief in reliability, truth, the ability to, or strength of someone or something. Relations have to be built on trust. And then I want to talk about this idea of certainty. Certainty is slightly different than trust. It's the quality of being reliably true. There's a fact that definitely is true, or an event that is definitely going to take place, a firm conviction that something is the case. And, it's like a person or thing may be relied upon. And so that's what I want to invite into this idea of trust. It's like I trust in certainty that there is always something greater, there is always something to be relied on. And that doesn't mean that there's not going to be obstacles, right? And it's because of that trust and that certainty that we can remain in the discomfort. So I trust you with you. I trust me with me. And at some point, I'm definitely going to do a nourishing codependency on this topic coming soon. Um, but here are my nourish you, because this is all about nourishing your body, your mind, your soul. Trust your body and trust your body to teach you about how it wants to be nourished. This is something I've been learning more this year, is that we are all different in our needs. And it's really only up to each of us to decide what our vessel requires in physical form. That, remember that your body keeps the score, that is multidimensional, and that um, it's like if there's things that your physical body is communicating that might be discomfort, you are being shown doors to healing in a multidimensional way. It's all connected. For example, I was 12 years old, shattered my forearm, both bones, in gymnastics. It was a very traumatic injury. I've had to do a lot of therapy on it, but it took a long time to realize, through like EMDR therapy, through understanding what was living in my nervous system and in my beliefs, and how it was connected to my emotional body, how it was connected to a metaphoric fracture of my feminine, of my maternal connections. And that work is really, really profound and beautiful. I will say that there are some hints that I could offer you through your star charts. Your human design chart has something called your digestive type, and in your astrology chart there is a each of the archetypes are linked to different organs in the body, and therefore can provide some insight on what keeps you healthy and ways that are best for you to nourish your body. So definitely let me know if you're interested in me looking into your charts. Next up, the mind, trusting in the mind. Oh my gosh. Okay, so only when we are free from turbulence can we trust the mind. The mind is a trickster. If there's no emotional waves clouding your perception, you feel cool, calm, and collected, you feel expansive and not contracted, then it's a great idea to simply trust your mind's intuition. It's coming from a place that is clear and certain and trusting. Now, nourishing your mind and with what soothes you. This is really cool because your Mercury placement in your astrology chart. Mercury is all about the way you think and the way you communicate. And depending on the element it is in, earth, air, fire, water, can really give you a lot of insight into what your mind really needs for nourishment. For example, my Mercury placement is in fire. However, it is also conjunct another planet, so it changes that a little bit. But my mind is a little bit of a squirrel. It kind of like bounces around from one thing to another. It's a little bit blunt. It's opinionated. It sometimes says things that I'm like, "Ooh, did that really just come out of my mouth?" So it could be kind of funny in a grandiose kind of way, um, but it can also be very multidimensional. So that's just with the influence of the planet it is sitting next to. Now, for another example, what is really common, I find, let's say you have Mercury in Pisces. Mercury in Pisces has zero boundaries, and that's also what Neptune governs. So Mercury in Pisces, it might feel a little spacey sometimes. Those thoughts really wander into um all kinds of places. You could feel a little bit cloudy, but sometimes you might just have this incredible insight that is so pure. If you have your mind placement, your Mercury is in, say, Gemini. Gemini, you have a very busy mind. Your mind is needs a break, needs harmonizing because it is sort of a never-ending engine. Um, and it would be a really good idea to implement, say, mantra music or just having like some frequency music in the background, something to help the mind gain a focus and a steady rhythm. So that gives you a little bit of insight there. I want to also invite you that this coming Tuesday, in just 2 days, if you live in the Phoenix area in Chandler, we are doing a first ever meetup group. It's a free event for those of you who are either new and somewhat interested in astrology or a long time astrology studier. And this will be at Function Pilates in Chandler from 6 to 8 p.m. And I will put a link as well to RSVP for that. We'd love to have you. And that's going to kind of evolve. It's a way to share in community and speak this language of astrology and just find support. Lastly, trust your soul. You are here for a reason. What you are being pulled to learn, grow, transform. Feelings, whispers, dreams, instincts. Ah, depending on how you receive guidance in the center of your being, in that changeless part of yourself, your soul, maybe it's through these qualities. I would say it's really important astrologically to learn about your North Node, to learn about your Saturn and your rising signs. Work with me in yoga, meditation, breath work. This can help you not so much identify with just your physical body, just your mind, or just your soul, but rather to embody all of them. If you look back into some of our more early episodes in the show, there's a great episode on yoga and meditation and this concept. But where you resist in your life, where you're repeating patterns, again, is a doorway, just like your physical body, connected to the ever giving source. You are safe to trust in that connection. Be certain it's all of the light. Even those ugly pieces, they belong. So, in an episode with You Do Woo's Allison Cullen, we talk about this idea of tikkun coming from the wisdom of Kabbalah and the forces of opposition that really are still all of the light. It's all for you. It's all happening to you. It's not to you, it's for you. So I invite us all to pause, to say what a pleasure to any of those resistant or repeating patterns that occur, and to heal your soul's pain points in any way therapeutically that you need: yoga, astrology, cold plunging, therapy, EMDR. I experienced a past life regression in this portal weekend in Sedona, and I cannot believe how healing it was. And I did not expect that. So I invite you to, again, support the show, check out events, check out New Moon Women's Circle at Protea coming this weekend for the solstice, the eclipse, the new moon. Come to the astrology club and schedule your star chart readings. I want to close this out with a beautiful vortex meditation for you. This is a manifestation meditation to help you transform. And in order to do this, we're going to do a little bit of breath work, a little bit of gratitude, a little bit of visualization. So you can come back to this anytime you're ready to find a comfortable seat and you have a little time to be alone and go inward. Okay. So you can sit in a chair, you can sit on the floor, you can, best just to sit up tall and feel somewhat grounded for this practice. And breath of fire is a sniffing breath. So place your hands on your belly initially and just start to breathe in and out your nose. And as you inhale, you'll notice an expansion in your belly. And as you exhale, there's like a snapping back, contracting navel to spine sensation. So breathing in, expanding. Just take a few slow breaths to get a little habit of that going. Good. Now, as we do this breath of fire, inhale, reaching your arms up, spreading your fingers wide, and exhale, fist down by your shoulders. And this is going to be quick. Okay. So inhale. As quickly or as slowly as you like. Keep your belly tight, keep your glutes tight, keep that breath flowing. Three, two, one. Relax, hands in your lap, breathe in naturally. Feel the tingling, feel your shoulders relax down your back. Just notice how you feel. Breathe in and out. One more round. Inhale. Relax, hands in your lap. Breathe naturally in and out your nose. Notice how you feel. Maybe some tingling, some pulsing, some live wakeful sensations. Center of your chest expands, the rising and receding of the breath. One final round together as fast as you can, as tight as you can be in your glutes and your tummy. Inhale, we're letting go, we're burning away, we're leaving it all behind. Inhale, exhale. Keep going. And relax. Place your arms in your lap. Notice your shoulders relax. Breathe deeply and settle into the sensations. Heart rate increasing, tingliness, warmth through the limbs, the whole upper body pulsing. Teeth gently parted, tongue away from the roof of your mouth. Feel plenty of space in your mouth as you breathe. Take your gaze with your eyes closed to the space between your eyebrows. Bring to your mind's eye something you are grateful for. You feel so appreciative of in your life. Create a visualization of these feelings. See yourself. Create a mind movie experiencing this person, this place, this thing, this experience. Notice you and your expressions as you appreciate, offer gratitude. Let it resonate in your mind's eye, filling your chest. Now, I want you to think about a time that you are bringing with you into your days moving forward, an experience you want to have again. Maybe it's a time you felt the most love, the most elation, the most sensual, the most pleasure, the most successful, the most satisfied, the most loved. I want you to feel and just replay that experience, that moment in time. Feel all of those feelings again as though it is happening now. Now I want you to take your attention to a future version of yourself that is more trusting, that is more certain, that these experiences can expand into that which you feel you had been desiring. What is it that you really want to experience? Who are you with? What are you doing? How does it make you feel? I want you to be in the experience and feel as though it is happening now. Allow your breath to continue to flow expansively in the center of your chest. It's happening now. There's almost no need for this to actually come true because you are so excited about what you can create in your mind's eye. Be there now. Future you. Taking a few more deep breaths, seeing what else is here to explore. It is yours. All that stands between it and reality is your ability to be here in appreciation, in attention to this feeling. Take a couple more deep breaths. Is there more? What's next? Take a nice deep inhalation through your nose. Exhale out an open mouth. As you inhale through your nose, hold your breath at the top. Feel your heart beat 4 times. Exhale. So to rub your palms together, building up some warmth and some friction between your palms. And then take your hands just gently apart. Feel this energy between your hands. Feel the center of your chest expansive. Hold on to this image in your mind. As you rest your thumbs at your sternum, know that your order has been placed with the source of all loving being light. It is being processed, preparing to be shipped to you and your real life experience. You simply have to be home to receive it. Spend time in this frequency of appreciation, certainty, and trust, and it will be yours. Take your time, my friends, and have a beautiful rest of your day. Namaste.